All right, I'm gonna put out this little PSA. That's public service announcement for veterans, um, U.S. military veterans. So apparently, you've probably heard of AmeriCorps. You know, that nationwide thing that's what do you call? Um, it's like a work deal. You do some work for the community or environment or whatever. And they give you a stipend or some living expenses and things like that. But apparently, there's something called a veteran corps, um, specifically geared for military veterans. I'm gonna look into it here if nothing's really panning out. If any of all veterans are like me, you're finding a lot of uh, uphill climbing, to say the least. Sometimes uh, vertical glass greased barriers you can't climb for whatever reason, and you need to still have your expenses paid, whatever. So, and maybe you got hurt or whatever in the military. It's very common. You know, the military retirees, I think maybe 1/10 of the service members get retirement. Where the rest of them go, well, they get cast adrift. And so, what am I getting at? What is that? Okay, so check out Veteran Service Corps in your state, um, and look around because they got different. I guess you call them different missions, different uh, job specialties, things like that. And while the stipend or the expenses account or whatever you want to call it, the salary or whatever, it's modest. Um, it'll allow you to uh, get by, and then also network with other veterans and maybe even uh, people with positions that are looking for able-bodied, dynamic, intrepid people like veterans usually are. And so anyway, I need to look at it myself. Um, the other thing too is look for night jobs that no one wants, whether it's security, whether it's a cleaning job, whether it's even if it's like at a gas station at night or something like that. Look for nighttime jobs because not only will the competition be less because most Americans don't want to work at night for some reason, um, but it will open up your daytime to keep looking for little jobs, or what do I say, moderate paying jobs or part-time jobs. And I'm practicing when I'm preaching. I work a full-time job at night, and then that leaves my day open for a part-time job. Um, and I think that's the way you got to do it nowadays. You have a primary and then the secondary, maybe a tertiary, and things like that, um, to get by. But as a veteran, you should not be starving on the streets if at all possible. And there are some programs and things like that that allow for at least honorable discharge veterans and things like that, which are the majority anyway. Um, and like that. So the other thing too is if you're a veteran that's really having a hard time for whatever reason, maybe the military uh, put some bad marks on your record or something, and it happens. Let's face it. There's a lot of undeserved things going on in the military. Your best bet is to get out of country, and start new somewhere. There's a lot of other countries where you can start new, and they don't have the same lockdown like they have here in the States for your records. I'd even say if you were still able-bodied or could get that way, I'd look into the French Foreign Legion. And now they have an age requirement, I believe, but check it out. That might be something you could do. You get your French citizenship. Um, no questions asked about your background or whatever. Supposedly, they may have changed things, but stay dynamic, stay looking for opportunity, and like I said, I think it's only like 1/10 of the military people retire, and I think they changed the retirement thing where you don't get retirement after 20 years anymore. I haven't looked at it closely. I've been out for a while, but and I'm not retired either out of the military. Unfortunately, I had some crap leadership. Um, I'm fully functional. I fully do my hardest work and everything like that. And you can do that if you have crap leadership. It won't matter. They'll sabotage you on their way to sabotaging themselves. So it happens. But um, try to be a dual income person where you have you're doing a job no one wants to do at night, and then you have a veteran style job that you qualify for during the day. In between the two, you can do other things too, like make your money work for you and things like that. There's a lot of channels like that on YouTube here where you can learn different things. But I'm just saying it, and mentally, you have to pretend that you're. This is what I do. I pretend that I'm in a work camp. Historically, like the gulags of Siberia, or the different prison of war camps the Japanese ran, a bunch of other different horrible places. They'd work you to death basically, or close to, and they want to feed you right and stuff like that. But you have to get mentally, like, just pretend that you just ended up in one of those and just work yourself. I haven't killed myself yet by working too much, but try it. Like, I was getting by like 4 hours of sleep for a year, and working 6 days a week, and it was fine. I adjusted. I was like a zombie or whatever, but it's possible. I need to get back on it. I mean, because what would happen? What would happen if you got captured by the enemy and you got stuck in one of these camps for years and years? You'd still work really hard. So if you can do it for them, why don't you do it for yourself? And you have to turn that switch in your brain that you're willing to work doing horrible things, maybe working more than 40 hours a week. I think this 40-hour week thing is not going to work out for people that make minimum wage or moderate wage, because of the taxes and everything else. I mean, the required insurances, all this other stuff, the expense to getting where you need to go, your upkeep, all that. You're gonna have to work more than 4 hours a week. I'm sorry. And most military jobs were more than 4 hours a week. So if you were able to do it for them, working 80, 100 hours a week, do it for yourself. Okay, so I gotta go to work, in fact, and plus I'm making YouTube videos. So practice what I preach, and just get yourself in the mentality you are in a work camp. So get to your assignments. Thank me later.